There's the one scene with rape. There are sex scenes. I don't think there's a whole lot of violence. There is the abuse when she ends up going and being with the older man. Hi, happy Webtoon Wednesday. I am going to be talking about a webtoon called The Devil, or I've also seen that it's called The Lady Devil. The picture for the cover, I'm going to zoom in up on it so you can see it. That way you kind of know what it looks like. So that's what the cover looks like. You follow a girl, or we'll say a young woman. She's technically still a girl. She's pretty young, all things considered. Her name is Genovetta? I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Sorry. Now, this girl is like super ignorant. She is the daughter of a duke. She also has a twin brother whose name is Johannes, or a lot of times she calls him John. And quick spoiler, because a lot of people who are going to be reading it or looking at it to maybe possibly read it will see that a lot of the reviews question whether or not it is incest, but some other people have actually posted spoilers saying that you do find out that they're not actually blood related, so it's not considered an incest story. You do have to go further along in reading it to figure out how it's complicated in a way, but they aren't blood related at all. Let's just get that out there. Now, you start off with her. She's the main character. She is the one you follow. She has been trapped in a tower. She was put up there because when she was 6, she kissed her brother John, and her mom pretty much trapped her in the tower for the rest of her life. And she basically has been living in the tower and looking down and watching as John gets to be free. He gets to learn how to sword fight. He gets to talk with other people. And she's very envious, and in a way she hates John and is very bitter towards him. And her family on her mom's side have inherited a bunch of caskets that are full of parts of the devil, is what they call it. Like someone before had previously killed the devil and dismembered him, or a really big demon lord, and put like a wing in one casket, another wing in another casket, an arm in a casket, legs in another casket, kind of deal. So what you can do as the direct ancestors from her mother's side of the family is you can take a sledgehammer and you can break a casket and make a wish. Now, because her father is forcing her to marry this old dude who's like in another, I don't want to say another country, but he's far away from where she's lived. He actually has killed his previous ex-wife, or his previous dead wife, and there's a lot of rumors about how he's very abusive and very mean. And you do see that later on, that he is a very old, weird, angry dude that you will not like. He beats her black and blue later in the story, and it's really sad. It's like so awful. And anyway, so she doesn't want to marry him. She's actually already been married before. When she was 15, I believe it was when she was really young. What the story says is that once she got her first period, that meant she was a woman and she could be married off. So she was like 14, 15 the first time she was married. But ironically, she was okay with it because she had been stuck in the tower for years. So she viewed it as a way to escape and see more of the outside world. Unfortunately, after their wedding night, which, guess what? This dude did the deed, and he had sex with like this 14-year-old, maybe 15. I don't even think she was 15. I think she was 14. She was young. He did the deed, and when she woke up the next morning, he was dead. He was literally hanging from like the rail on the canopy of the bed, and it was like his insides were like his rib cage was like ripped open and his entrails were out. pretty gruesome. So she became a widow after one day of being married, and no one really wanted to marry her because they thought that she had either did it or she was cursed. So she went straight back to living in her tower. And like I said, this girl is really ignorant. She thought her meals grew on trees. She didn't even know that you pick up food, like you pick fruit from trees and then you go make an apple pie, for example. She just thought that you got food from trees. That's how sheltered she is. I'm not saying she's dumb, but she's very sheltered, and she doesn't know a lot about anything in the real world, basically. She makes a wish that she does not want to marry the old guy because she knows it's going to be bad for her. Whether he is physically abusive, mentally, emotionally abusive, she just knows, like, if she goes there, it's probably going to be the end of her life. And she breaks the casket, she makes a wish, and then she leaves. And on her way back to her bedroom, she comes across her brother John's room, or Johannes, however you want to say it. I say John because John's easier. She comes across his room, and he's in there being held down by like 4 guards or 4 knights, and they're trying to keep him still. And what they tell her is that he's having a seizure, and she's very scared because the prophecy for the demon parts or the devil parts is that once you break it, or if you make a wish, you have to pay back equally. So, for example, I'm trying to think of something, if you wish for a lot of money, your like favorite aunt is gonna die, and then you get your inheritance. It's like you get what you want, but not quite the way you want it, and it won't really make you happy in the end necessarily. So she thinks, seeing John having a seizure, that he's gonna die, and this is related to her breaking the casket and making a wish. Whew. So once like a couple hours pass and it's the middle of the night, she actually goes back to John's room to check on him, and she's sitting there knocking and he doesn't answer. And like as soon as she's about to go away, he opens the door and pulls her into his room, and he's like, "Why are you outside my room in the middle of the night? You are a young lady. This is not appropriate." And she just sits there and she's like, "I was really worried for you. You were having a seizure. I thought you were going to die, yada, yada, yada." And then all of a sudden, John starts to change. John's body, he starts to like shake and cry out like he's in a lot of pain. And he starts to morph into this giant disfigured demon with huge horns and 1 wing. I think he has 1 wing. He might have 2 wings at that time. And a tail. And he's just like not a normal color at all. And she is very scared. She ends up running away and then coming back and giving him comfort. So a lot of the additional story has to do with them keeping it a secret. For one, her trying to convince her father that she doesn't want to get married, and them dealing with their emotions and their feelings for one another, because they don't know that they're not related. So they're both fighting to not be with each other, if that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't work. They eventually like get together because he does like rape her in his demon form, but he doesn't, if I remember correctly, he doesn't remember that he raped her in the demon form he takes first and initially. It's like he doesn't remember when he takes demon form that time, but he does remember when he takes his demon form again in the future, because he's more coherent in that state eventually. I would recommend this. I think it's a very interesting story. I like the fact that, you know, the brother is tortured by becoming a demon. I don't really like the fact the main female character is, I don't want to say dumb, but so ignorant. And she does a lot of things selfishly instead of just communicating life. Since this webtoon is not complete, I can't give a total, like, yes, it's fantastic and everything's amazing, you should read it. But I do really enjoy the webtoon so far, and I would really recommend you taking a chance in reading it if you are willing and able to. Again, just remember that they're not actually blood siblings going into reading it, and that will probably make it a little better or easier for you to read it, so you're not so like cringy. Because I think if I didn't know that they weren't blood siblings, like there would be a lot of cringe going on. But since I was able to go in knowing they're not blood siblings, it was just like, it was okay, right? Just like meh, like whatever, okay. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you have a webtoon you would like to recommend me, please leave me a comment below. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Bye.